All right, now calling the matter of State of Georgia versus Patrick McCullers, charged in warrant number 2024 WA 06435. Your witness, who's going to handle this one? Solicitor. Okay, all righty, go ahead. Assistant Solicitor Beans.
Okay. Hi, Officer Justice. Could you raise your hand, please? Your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Officer Justice, could you just state your name for the court?
I'm Officer Stephen Justice with Jonesboro Police Department.
Okay, and can you just tell us a little bit about your involvement in this case?
Mind if I look at my report?
Sure thing.
On September 23rd at approximately 15:30 hours or 15:29, which is 3:30 in the afternoon, I was contacted by dispatch 911 saying that there was a young man trying to pass off a check at the First Bank in Jonesboro, located at 101 North Main Street.
All right. Is that Clayton County?
That is Clayton County, yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Well, it's in the city of Jonesboro, Clayton County, Georgia. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
I arrived, spoke with the complainant, Miss. I want to say her last name was Miss Brooks. Miss Brooks stated that there was a young man that came in, and he was actually still in the bank location, trying to pass a $1,402 check that was made out to him, but but she advised me that the check was actually not his check, that it had been washed and the name been replaced on it. I made contact with the young man, detained him, read him Miranda, and began questioning him about the check. Identified the man as Mr. McCullers. Mr. McCullers stated that he just got out of jail a couple of days prior to this incident, and that he worked in Atlanta for a man. I can't remember the man's name. I think I got it written in my report, but and that he paid him that check for the work that he did. It was also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Excuse me. If you could just back up a moment. Could you tell us what or to whom the check was made out?
The check was originally, before it was washed, was made out to Nail Heating and Air, which is out of Hampton, Georgia. But when I looked at it, it was actually made out to Mr. McCullers.
Okay, and how were you able to ascertain that it who was originally made out to?
I made contact with the business owner for the Georgia Pool Supply, who owned the check, and they told me that check was originally made out to Nail Heating and Air.
And how did they know which check it was? They
have their own council checks that he had supplied to me.
Okay,
so the check number and the council check for the original council check.
Okay, thank you.
Or a copy of it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Were you able to identify? You were able to identify the identity of the. Were you able to identify the identity of the defendant? I'm sorry, the suspect on scene?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is the same person that well, let me ask you this. How were you able to identify his, figure out his identity on scene?
Well, from the Miss Brooks, the bank manager, and through his ID.
Through his ID, okay.
Through his Georgia ID.
Okay, and is that same person here on the screen?
I'm not showing him, so give me one sec. Yes, ma'am, he is.
Okay. Right. There's no further questions. Thank you.
All right, Attorney Lane.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
When you did you review any video footage of the incident?
I was shown some video, some still shots of a video of the incident that took place. Apparently, I don't think I got into this a while ago, but apparently he had tried to enter a store before he came down to, or a bank before he came down to Jonesboro to cash the check. And the Miss Brooks, the branch manager in Jonesboro, showed me some photos of Mr. McCullers trying to pass off the check in that store up there, or that branch up there.
Okay. So you never did review any video? It was just still pictures?
Yes, sir.
What were the quality of the pictures?
Pretty good. I can't give you a pixel number, but I can say they're pretty good for my experience.
And is that what you said you used that to identify Mr. McCullers?
No, I used he was still in the branch when I arrived, and they pointed him out, and I took him, detained him, and identified him by his driver's license.
Okay. And he told you that Mr. Williams gave him the check
That's what he's told me, yes, sir.
and that he works for Mr. Williams?
And that he did work for Mr. Williams at some point, and that for the work that he performed, he gave him the check.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, officer. I don't have any further questions.
Yes.
Any redirect?
No, no, ma'am. No, Your Honor.
All right, closing arguments.
Yes, the elements to forgery in the fourth degree are the intent to defraud by making, altering, possessing, uttering, or delivering any check written under $1,500 in a manner that the check is altered purporting to be made by another person by authority of one who had not given that authority. Based on the testimony of this witness, where he found the suspect on site with the check issued to him without the consent of Georgia Pool Supply, we would ask that you bind the case over to state court. Thank you.
All righty, go ahead, Attorney Lane.
Your Honor, we just request a dismissal of the charge here, just based on the officer's testimony of what my client said, that he was given this check for work he had done for a Mr. Williams. We have no idea where Mr. Williams would have come into contact with the check, or what was going on with the check, allegedly that he was given this check for some work he'd done. And so just based on that, we'd request a dismissal.
Based upon the evidence presented, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind this charge over to the state court of Clayton County. Yes, to order the court.